So going into the exam, I just had in my mind a lot of a percentage of folk do not pass on the first try. So I had in my mind, okay, let me find out where I'm the weakest. During my practice exams, I would always not get the 83. You had to get an 83% or above. And so the practice exams were really making me feel like, oh my gosh, I am not going to pass this exam. And I didn't think I was going to pass it on the second try, the third try, or the fourth try for some of the more difficult questions. And with these exams, they do that. They make them very wordy. I got through the exam, I got through the middle of the exam, and then I realized, oh, my timing, and I started panicking. A percentage of folk do not pass on the first try. So I had in my mind, okay. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are blessed. And I hope you all are living your best life. Living your best life free. Why do I say free? Because he who the Son sets free is free indeed. And I'll tell you, one of the ways I like to maintain my freedom is to stay abreast on the current trends, on what's going on in my career market and things of that nature. Maintaining my finances and planning for the future. I think that's one of the best ways you can stay in a place of security and maintain financial security by keeping up with what's currently going on, looking at your current situations and planning, strategizing. What can you do to be flexible and to stay current with what's going on, and also being prudent to look ahead? That's one of the best ways that I maintain my freedom, so that I'm not subjected to the dependence of what's going on in our current market, in our society, things of that nature. And so what I've always maintained to do is to make sure I am maintaining certain areas in my career so that I can be marketable, so that I can be able to be flexible. If things are not working out in a current situation, I can make changes. I like my freedom when I have say so on what I want to do in my day-to-day. Oftentimes, we feel that we don't have time to plan our lives or to make certain changes in our lives that will be a change for the better. When you are in a place where you feel that you are bound and in bondage and not free, but feeling like you're forced to have to work a job or forced to have to do something that you really feel like if I could just change this or tweak that, I would be in a better place. Well, I'll tell you, take the time when you're off work, maybe when you get home from work, take that time to start doing some research and searching areas in your career or areas outside of your career that you feel that you can make some change to better your life. The way I maintain my freedom is to always look at what's going on with current trends in my career, staying abreast on that and staying up to date with that, making moves that will guide me to a better place where I am more marketable, where if something changes in my situation, I can be flexible to make a change. And when I do make that change, it doesn't devastate my lifestyle. I might have to sacrifice a little bit. For instance, recently I had been studying for a certification. What it is irrelevant to this point. It's something that I felt that I wanted to make a choice and change. Now, I'm very satisfied with where I am, but I always know that I can do better and I can get to a better place. And again, I can be marketable. And I think we all can put ourselves in that position. I did some research. I took some time outside of work, outside of, what my normal day-to-day is. And it took some sacrifice to do that. I would ask myself certain questions about where it is I wanted to go, what it is I wanted to do, maybe how much I wanted to attain. It's not just a financial matter, it's a matter of freedom. If you are a person who's working and you're a competent person, you can improve on your skills. You can improve on what it is that you do. And if you are able to read and comprehend, anybody can pick up materials and read more about what's going on in your field so that you can make yourself marketable. And that is the key to being free in your day-to-day life. So you don't feel like you're in bondage. So you don't feel like you're dragging from day to day and just living. Make yourself a force to be reckoned with. And you know what? No one will be able to take your place when you do that. Well, I happen to have a situation currently where I was studying for a certification. I'd gone through licensure exams, board exams, certification exams. It wasn't my first time on the rodeo, but I'm a woman of a certain age. It's been years since I've taken an exam as such, and I was just so nervous. I was nervous in my studies. I was just nervous approaching it because, like I said, it was self-study, number one. It wasn't classroom based. I had to kind of develop my own study strategy, my own lesson plans. Wasn't easy to do, but I knew I was capable of doing it because I did it before. But like I said, it's been years. And when I sat, after all the studying, I developed a schedule where every day I was going to, put my time and effort in to study. I didn't want to, I'd rather just flip on Netflix and eat some chocolate macadamia nuts and, call it a day. No, I dug my heels in, kept at it, wanted to give up so many times and just say, forget this. Why am I doing this? And so my first mindset was, if I don't pass this exam, I'm just going to give it up. I mean, I'm not going to waste my days and nights studying for this darn thing. If it's not going to work the first time, then forget about it. But I had a colleague to talk some sense into me and say, hey, no, if this is a passion of yours, if this is something you really want to do, and if you don't pass it the first time, hey, no worries. You'll be able to see the areas where you are the weakest, and you study more for those, and then a week or two later, go back in and take the exam again. So going into the exam, I had in mind, okay, it's a huge percentage of folk who do not pass on the first try. So I had in my mind, okay, let me find out where I'm the weakest. During my practice exams, I would always not get the 83. You have to get an 83% or above. On the practice exams, I always maintain, sometimes I get 90s, then sometimes I get 58. Like half the questions wrong. Then sometimes I get 70, then sometimes I get 60s, then sometimes I get 80. It was all over the place. And so the practice exams were really making me feel like, oh my gosh, I am not going to pass this exam. And I didn't think I was going to pass it on the second try, the third try, or the fourth try. But I'll tell you, I wasn't alone. I prayed to the Most High God. I said, Lord, if this is something that you're really wanting me to do, give me the strength and the motivation to study for it, to prepare for it. If I don't pass, give me the inspiration to keep finding out where the areas are that I'm weakest and help me to get back at it, get back on the saddle, I couldn't do this without the Most High God. In other words, I couldn't do it without praying. I couldn't do this thing and discipline myself at this time in my life where I just could just say, well, you know what, whatever. I couldn't do it without him. So that was the number one thing. Just lots of prayer and lots of discipline and just really pulling up my bootstraps and just getting the studying done, maintaining the practice exams. And then when I sat there right before the exam, I just knew I wasn't going to pass. I just knew it. But then as I started getting into the exam and answering questions, certain questions I just flagged and said, well, I'm not really sure about this answer, so I can go back and review it at the end of the test. I was getting further and further into the test, and I noticed my time. You had like a minute and a few seconds to answer each question. And for me, reading comprehension has never been my best suit. It just never has, ever since I was a child. I would have to read a question over and over again. Sometimes if I'm not in the right mind frame, if I'm reading a passage or something, I have to read it over and over again before I can get it. It's just, I don't know if it's a part of a learning disability or what, I don't know. But I know I've always been that way. I've gotten better, when I went through college and everything like that, I was really a lot better at it. But if I am in an environment where, and if I am not in the right space or in the right place for myself, I could read a question and have to read it 3 or 4 times. Well, I found myself doing that on the exam. And then after I really understood what the question is being asked, and some of these questions are difficult where you would have to do that. I'm thinking maybe the average person who's really great at reading comprehension would probably have to read the question 1 or 2 times before they actually got it. But for me, I'll say for some of the more difficult questions, and with these exams, they do that. They make them very wordy, to try to throw you off, and they'll add different words and things in there that has nothing to do with anything, but you're busy looking at everything in that question so that you can come up with the answer. I got through the exam, I got through the middle of the exam, and then I realized, my timing, because I had to make sure I'm answering each question under a minute. I'll say a minute and 5 seconds or so is probably the timing. But I was looking at how much time I had left for the exam and how many questions I had in order to finish the exam. And I was looking and I started panicking. So I said, okay, reading these questions 2 and 3 times, I'm going to just have to stop doing that. I felt like I was running out of time, so I really had to just read the questions and get an answer. The next one, read the question and get the answer. I had to just keep doing that because I had to catch up with my time. But I didn't want to just answer anything or just rush just because I'm looking at the time. And then I was flagging a certain amount of questions that I was a little on the edge about. And with these types of questions, they'll have at least 2 out of 4 multiple choice answers. 2 of those questions could be the correct answer, but 1 will always be the best answer. And so that's how you had to answer those questions. So you're always, in a lot of questions, I'm going back and forth between, was it this one or that one? So I got to the end and I only had around 3 minutes left. I had 3 minutes left. I probably flagged around 15 questions, but I just wanted to go back to make sure I was answering the best. So that could be very tricky when you go back to check on your answer. I only had the 3 minutes left. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go through that whole test and get to those 15 questions, but I went back and tried to at least some of them. And I didn't do too many changes. I just kind of left everything the way it was. I kept the Lord before me. Going through that exam, at the beginning of the exam while I was studying, well, I got to the end. They give you the results at the end, very end. But before the very end, you had other questions that you have to answer. And so, well, I answered the questions. I got to the end. And when I saw the results that said, congratulations, not only did I pass the exam, I got a certain amount of points over the passing score. And I just was so grateful. I could do nothing but just give glory and honor to the Most High God. And I am still in this kind of state of mind, like, Lord, did you really do this for me? Did you really hear my prayer and answer my prayer? No one is going to give you any kind of shortcuts but the Most High God. He's the one that's going to give you the favor. He's the one that's going to direct your path. And he's the one that is going to put very important people in your life that you can network with and that can pull your coattail and say, hey, this is what I think you need to do. If you like doing this, this is what you need to do. So again, get out of that place where you feel like you're just forced to do this or that. I don't care what your job is. I don't care how much money you make. If you feel like you can do better, and I know you can, I'm not going to say if you feel like you can do better. I'm going to say you can always do better. You can always check out what's going on, and you can always put yourself in a better position. Do that. So it's not about you trying to do it all alone. He places people in our lives to help us, to pray for us even, to even guide us and advise us and mentor us on certain things. Take advantage of that. The Lord will give you favor with people as well. I just wanted to share that good news with you. To all of you who are new to this channel, if this is your first time joining into this channel, my name is Ree. I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I do to live a very free life. And that life is free in Jesus Christ. For he who the Son sets free is free indeed. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and just follow me on this journey. I hope I can bring some advice and words of value and encouragement to you, which is my goal. And to those of you who have been continuing along with me on this journey, I thank you. I thank you for just watching and just encouraging me. I can feel your encouragement through the recordings and my videos, and I appreciate you. And my prayers go out to you always. I'm always praying for those who are watching the recordings, because the main thing is not about me. It's about sharing the good news of Jesus Christ. Just sharing the good news that he can make you free indeed. I just want to thank you all for stopping by. I will see you next time, and God bless.